Let's face it, solar panels are pretty boring. They just stand there soaking up the sun. Guess there's a reason they call it passive solar. But they don't move. Worse than watching grass grow. But if you live out in the boonies, like we do off the grid, miles from a power pole, solar may be your best option to keep the lights on. So I'm going to hand it over to Grid, otherwise known as Solar Man, who's going to tell you how it works and what you need.
Thanks, Karen, I think. Well, first thing you need is a solar panel. Now, engineers decided to call these things photovoltaic arrays, but all they really are is a sheet of glass that have sandwiched in some silicone and a little bit of phosphorus and some boron. And what they do is they trap photons from the sun and turn it into electricity. I know, TMI.
Yes, I know, TMI. And Solar Man is getting ahead of himself. The first thing you need is to find a place to put your solar panels. A place that gets sun, even in the winter. Then you've got to dig holes in the ground, cement the mounting poles, and fix your panels in place. Okay, Solar Man, back to you.
Well, these are our solar panels up here above me. You can see that we have 4 of them. So back to the chalkboard. Put in our 4 panels here. That's the first step. Now, these panels each collect 250 watts of electricity. We've configured the system so it's a 24-volt system. We wire these things together, and we're able to collect 1,000 watts of electricity.
Now here's a visual cue for what comes next. Yep, think control.
The next thing we need is a controller. Back to the chalkboard. Controller does just what its name implies. It controls. In our case, what it controls is how much electricity from our solar panels is going to the batteries. Its job is to keep them full, to sense how much they need and make sure they're always filled up, so that when we need electricity at the house, the batteries can step up and deliver.
Yes, batteries, but not the kind Grid uses to start the tractor, or what I use to start the UTV.
Now, we have 4 batteries in our system. They're golf cart batteries. They're 6 volt, and they weigh a ton.
Yeah, like 120 pounds each. They're called deep cycle batteries.
What we've done of each of these batteries is we have wired them together. So together they make 24 volts. They have only one job, and that is to store the energy that is generated by the solar panels and sent to them by the controller.
This part tends to confuse me, so hold on to this image. Maybe it'll help.
Now the last piece. Now so far we've been talking about a system that is direct current, 24 volts. Batteries are 24 volts, solar panels, controller, 24 volts, direct current. But our house is 120 volts, alternating current. So we got to close that gap. And what we do is we put in what's called an inverter. An inverter takes the electricity from the battery and converts it into alternating current. Now, because our inverter is about 100 feet from the house, our power is 240 volts, and when it gets to the main breaker panel at the house, we step it down to 120.
There you have it. And we get all the power we need to kick back and read, use our computers, even do our laundry. The only work involved is keeping your solar panels clean.
But one more thought before we go. We think it's a good idea to create an energy budget on paper, which shows you how much energy you're using every day. Take this light bulb, for example. If it uses 30 watts and you use it for 2 hours a day, you take those 2 hours every day and you multiply it times the 30 watts, and you put the total, 60 watts, into your energy budget. Do the same thing with your hair dryers or computers, chargers, whatever you're using around the house. Again, there's a plate somewhere on the back of these appliances that shows you how much wattage they demand. So take that, multiply it times the number of hours or portions of an hour that you use the appliance, and total it up. Add the whole thing up, and that's your energy demand. Now, then go outside and look at your solar panels and take a look at how much energy they generate. Now, our solar panels are 250 watts. We have 4, so we generate 1,000 watts. Calculate how many hours a day you're going to be getting solar energy, multiply it out. That's your supply. If your supply doesn't meet your demand, you're going to run out of energy in the middle of the night.
And that's a wrap.